Anthony, I just initiated the recording. Ronald, can we get confirmation that you do have visibility on that chat box? Let me know if you can see the chat and interact with the chat feature.
Fantastic. I see that you wrote, Ronald.
Outstanding. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2-minute warning. Our training will begin in approximately 2 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, you are in the right place. In case you were wondering, you have arrived at the new, specially designed for you, MAS FY25 Buyer Training Series. And this is the first of several monthly series. Our series today will be conducted by none other than, dun, 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 drum roll, please, Anthony Grimaldi. This is when all the applause would be happening, like if you were in the arena in New York, Anthony. Everyone would be applauding at this point. Anthony, awesome team member. Anthony is a part of the GSS business development team. Our team is headed by Miss Christine Stein, and we owe her so much to the curriculum development phase of this training because it is geared directly toward you, the mass buyer. And so today, Anthony will also be joined by Mr. Ronald Thompson. He's on the contracting side, and of course, that's the side where all the moving and shaking happens. But Anthony and Ronald will be taking this presentation from here. Go ahead, Anthony.
Fantastic. Lori, can we go to the welcome slide? The slide right after this one.
Okay, yes, that's today. All righty, there we go.
Fantastic. Hello and welcome all to the GSA Customer Buying Training Series. As Lori stated earlier, my name is Anthony Grimaldi and I represent the GSA's business development team. as the key lead for the Physical Security and Protection Multiple Award Schedule category. Assisting me today is, of course, Miss Lori Witherspoon, who's also from the BD team, as well as Mr. Ronald Thompson, our subject matter expert and contracting specialist from the MAS General Products branch. In today's training, we will focus on physical access control systems, better known as PACS. Before we go into today's session, there are some housekeeping rules I wanted to go over with you. Today's presentation is being recorded. The slides will be shared with you after the meeting. There are over 250 participants in today's training, and as such, we will be muting everyone's mic. However, we will be keeping the Q&A box open during the training, so feel free to ask questions as Ronald will be monitoring it throughout the session. In the event we're not able to address your question during the session, I or someone from the team will get back to you. Let's go over to the next slide. In today's training, I will be providing an overview of the MAS Security and Protection category, specifically discussing what PACS is. I will cover each of the mandates and policies that set forth the guidelines for a government-wide secure identification standard, briefly touching on what they are and the importance of conforming to them. I will discuss how each of these policies work together to form what we know as FYCAM. I will then go on to discuss the necessary steps to commence your agency's review of their current security system and touch upon the GSA PACS ordering guide. I will follow up with where you can find our MAS PACS solutions and discuss some of the products and service solutions available to you on MAS. I will then provide you with an overview of our MAS program and the different acquisition channels offered, specifically discussing the benefits of each. Lastly, I will discuss the key benefits of using MAS and who can purchase from it. Please keep in mind that today's presentation is meant to be a broad overview of both the guidelines and directives governing PACS and the solutions available on GSA. This is meant to be a summary of this information, and as such, I will not dive into any one particular topic too much, as there's a lot of ground to cover. By the end of this presentation, you should have a better understanding of what exactly is a PACS and where to start your agency's search for a solution that will conform to today's mandated standards. Lori, let's go to the next slide. GSA offers various solutions to meet your physical security and protection needs. Whether it's updating an existing physical access control system or designing and implementing a new one, we have a solution that will satisfy your requirement. Through the GSA MAS Security and Protection category, your federal agency or state or local government entity can save time and money with access to highly qualified products and service providers. These providers tailor product and service orders to meet your agency's unique requirements via the efficient and simplified ordering processes available through the MAS program. So with that said, I'm going to dive into the meat and potatoes of this session and start the training by discussing what a PACS is. Lori, next slide, please. So what is a PACS? In its basic form, PACS are a particular type of access control system used as an electronic security countermeasure. PACS can be used to control employee and visitor access to a facility and within controlled interior areas. Within the federal government, compliant PACS solutions are made up of three distinct categories, which all work together and in total comprise the system. They are one, infrastructure. You can think of this as the hardware system that controls the turnstiles, the doors, and barriers that many of you see on your way to work in the morning. Two, certificate validation system. You could think of this as the software that verifies the authenticity of a certificate before the access control system makes an authorization decision. And three, lastly, the personal identity verification PIV card readers. This is the accepting device that performs the functions to interact with the bearer of the credential. So in essence, that is what a PACS is. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. At a high level, a PACS is a collection of technologies that control physical access at one or more federal agency sites by electronically authenticating employees, contractors, and visitors. These systems are made up of numerous components and sophisticated electronics. Working with access point equipment, such as barriers, turnstiles, and locking doors, these systems interface with various hardware and software to authenticate and verify a person's identity. PACS are information technology systems that must be designed, deployed, and operated in cooperation with physical security teams in order to be successful at meeting agency mission needs. They work within the parameters and standards set forth in the Homeland Security Presidential Directive 12. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. Homeland Security Presidential 12, also known as HSPD 12, mandates the establishment of a government-wide standard for identity credentials for executive branch employees and contractors to improve physical security in controlled facilities. HSPD 12 requires agencies to conduct background investigations, adjudicate the results of background investigations, and lastly, issue identity credentials to eligible employees and contractors. HSPD 12 mandates the use of PACS to improve security in federally controlled facilities. The directive requires all executive departments and agencies to establish a standardized process for issuing identity credentials to federal employees and contractors. It is designed to enhance security, reduce identity fraud, and most important, protect the employees and visitors housed in these federal facilities. You can think of HSPD 12 as the overarching directive that governs ID credentialing. The standard credential for HSPD 12 is the Personal Identity Verification Card, better known as a PIV card. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. In February 2005, the Department of Commerce National Institute of Standards and Technology, better known as NIST, established a framework for PIV systems that are used to authenticate individuals who need access to federal facilities, systems, and applications. This standard, which we know as the Federal Information Processing Standards Publication 201, also known as FIPS 201, aims to meet the security and control objectives of HSPD 12. It specifically describes the PIV card elements, system interfaces, and security controls required to securely store, process, and retrieve identity credentials from the card. Working in conjunction with mandates outlined in HSPD 12 and other policies, it, it establishes the standard that must be met by all agencies. Let's go on to the next slide. So, complying with FIPS standards ensures a baseline level of security that can protect sensitive information from unauthorized access and data breaches. This is especially crucial in the physical security domain where the risks are significant and data breaches can have far-reaching consequences. The responsibility and authority for PIV card issuance and management rest in the departments and agencies employing federal employees and contractors, regardless of whether these functions are performed in-house or outsourced to an external public or private organization. As such, it is the responsibility of your employing agency to ensure that all mandates related to FIPS are met. I'm going to repeat that one more time. It is the responsibility of your employing agency to ensure that all mandates related to FIPS are met. That's very, very important to all this. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. In 2022, the FIPS was updated to its current version, FIPS 201-3. FIPS 201-3, the purpose of it is to align with current NIST technical guidelines on identity management and OMB policy, as well as changes in commercially available technologies and services. In essence, the order was updated to meet the ever-evolving world of technology by aligning it with new smart card-based credentials, which employ microprocessor-based smart card technology and is designed to be counterfeit resistant, tamper resistant, phishing resistant, and interoperable across federal government facilities. Working in conjunction with new guidelines and policies, specifically OMB M19-17, it has brought these changes and use of new technologies into the standards that we know today. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. OMB M19-17, dated May 2019, is a memorandum from the Office of Management and Budget that outlines the federal government's identity, credential, and access management ICAM policy. It describes the specific tools, policies, and systems that agencies use to manage, monitor, and secure access to protected resources. In addition to specifying the tools needed in ICAM, this memorandum also covers topics such as workforce identity, credential management, and contextualizing identity in the federal government. Basically, you can think of it as a roadmap for federal agencies to follow, especially when establishing or modernizing their ICAM. Lori, let's go to the next slide. Federal Identity, Credential, and Access Management, or FICAM for short, is a government-wide program that helps federal agencies manage, monitor, and secure access to protected resources. FICAM uses the tools, policies, and systems to ensure that the right people have access to the right resources at the right time. It is meant to provide a common set of standards, best practices, and implementation guidelines for federal agencies. Basically, FICAM aims to take the policies and guidelines that were just discussed and bring them all together to form the architecture and playbooks that all federal agencies must adhere to. It aims to ensure that all agencies meet the requirements that have been outlined in the HSPD 12 by instituting the standards in FIPS 2013 and the OMB M19-17. The program is managed by the GSA Office of Government-Wide Policy and focuses on initiatives that support interoperability between organizations. To support this initiative, it has created the FICAM testing program. The program tests and certifies services and commercial products used in PID credentialing systems, as well as PACS. The program uses third-party accredited testing labs and GSA-managed testing labs. Once products and services are approved as compliant with the standard, the GSA makes them available through the Interoperability Test Program and approved products and service list, which we call the APL, on their supply schedules. The evaluation program is also known as the FIPS evaluation program. So before we go over to our next slide, we have a brief survey that we'd like for the audience to participate in. Lori, can you run that, please?
Okay, well, so far, Anthony has taken an entire fire hose of information and tried to push it through a garden hose, and it's a lot. But we know that a lot of information can be reflected back on when you review the slides. But we just want to make sure and just do a check-in to see if you're tracking on some of the things that we've gone over and paying attention. All right, now let's check number one, and you could just drop your answer in the chat. What does the acronym PAC stand for? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, all right, well, looks like everybody's checking. Okay, D, physical access control systems. All right, next knowledge check. Okay, let's see if you're paying attention, folks. Which federal agency maintains FICAM policy oversight for PACs? Okay, if you selected D, OMB, you are correct. And the last knowledge check. Knowledge check number 3. What does FIPS stand for? If you chose Federal Information Processing Standards, you are correct. Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, this entitles you to move on to the next round of your Mass Security Systems Buyer Series. Take it away, Anthony.
Well, thank you, Lori. So we're going to continue with this series now. Let's get on to the GSA PACS ordering guide. I'm sure many of you might be thinking that was a lot to digest, and it is. That's the reason why we put together the GSA PACS ordering guide. This document aims to create a comprehensive ordering guide that assists agencies, particularly contracting officers, in effectively using the GSA multiple award schedule. It reviews each of these policies in detail, providing a further understanding of them and how they relate to PACS. This ordering guide is not a standalone reference. It is recommended that the reader also become familiar with the FAR 8.4 and other source documentation listed in the reference documents. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. As an end user agency, many of you might be thinking, well, where do I start? It is essential to understand that each agency develops strategies to modernize its PACs to standardized methods as required in FIPS 201-3. Before moving into the acquisition phase of acquiring a new FIPS 201-3 approved PAC solution, an agency should first review their current system to check for compliance standards. This step involves taking an inventory of available equipment and identifying risk and vulnerabilities. Once a risk assessment is complete, the next step is developing a migration strategy for moving facilities over to the new FIPS 201-3 PAC solution. Continuity of operations planning will be essential to the success of a migration from a deployed PACS, which is a legacy system, to a PIV-enabled PACS. Again, the PACS guide explains this in further detail. It is essential to know that an agency's PAC requirements is driven by its mission, and for that reason, it's extremely important that this phase of the solution be given the utmost attention. On the next few slides, I will discuss what the multiple award schedule is and show you where and how GSA can assist you in satisfying your agency's PACS needs. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. So, what is MAS? The GSA multiple award schedule is a long-term contract that allows commercial companies to sell products and services to the government. The MAS program is also known as the Federal Supply Schedule. It's awarded using the FAR Part 8.4 procedures. The MAS provides federal, state, and local government buyers with access to commercial products and services and solutions at pre-negotiated prices. The MAS makes buying easier and more efficient, helping government save time and money. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. There are many reasons to buy through the GSA's multiple award schedule program. Let's take a closer look at some.
Wait a minute, Anthony, I just remembered a part of developing our curriculum means not just telling the members of our team or the people in our audience about what they have to do. We have to make this meaningful to help them understand using the MAS is going to make them do less or have not as much to do.
That's true.
Tell us more about how buying through GSA is important, not just for what they already have to do, but in the light of what they won't have to do.
Okay, I'm going to go through some of those things right now. Well, first off, GSA offers, through the MAS program, offers fair and reasonable prices. So contracting officers ensure that prices are fair and reasonable by considering factors like competitor contracts, historical prices, and current prices from other sources. Regulatory compliance. Our suppliers have been vetted to ensure that offerers have adequate financial resources to perform the work and are capable of meeting the delivery or performance requirements. TAA compliant. You will have the assurance of knowing that all products are TAA compliant. Access to the federal market. The MAS program provides access to the federal government, the world's largest volume purchaser of goods and services. Time and cost savings. The MAS program can save time and money by providing access to millions of commercial products and services. Faster buying. MAS orders and BPAs are not generally synopsized at SAM.gov, which can speed up the buying process. Vast supplies and services. The MAS program continuously onboards new contractors to ensure that it has new and innovative solutions. And lastly, built-in value. The MAS program offers a suite of e-tools that facilitate market research and offer quick, automated purchasing capabilities.
Thank you, Anthony, for letting us know why using and buying through MAS it creates an environment of things that we don't have to worry about. It's already taken care of.
Yep. Let's go over to the next slide. So where can I find GSA PAC solutions? You can access our PAC solutions on GSA eLibrary at www.gsaelibrary.gov. I have included a link on the slide for you all. Here you will find a complete list of PAC solutions GSA has to offer, along with the names and contact information of vendors providing those products and services. Customers need to use the security protection category and subcategory as the main schedule vehicle for their PAC's requirements. Customers can find solutions under the following special item number. SIN 334290 PACS includes physical access control systems that are FIPS 201-3 compliant. Here you will find solutions that are on our approved products list. Such products include biometric and access point equipment, locking doors and barriers, and other approved products. SIN 541330 SEC. Here you can find security system integrations such as design, management, and lifecycle support. These vendors are certified system engineers, CSIP, which means that they have passed a rigorous GSA-approved training program, demonstrated their ability to efficiently and effectively implement PKI and federal ICAM architectures for EPACs, demonstrated knowledge of the latest security industry standards, and met federal procurement requirements. SIN 334290L and 541330L, which is our legacy product and service SINs, offer similar products and services to that of the former, but the difference here is that these SINs are not FIPS 2013 compliant. I would encourage you to search the GSA eLibrary as well as our security protection page to view the SINs applicable to your agency's needs. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I hope that holds true of this one. It should provide a clear understanding of some of the PAC solutions we offer through the MAS. So I just wanted to include that in the slide deck so there's no confusion.
That's really helpful. A picture is
Yep.
worth 1,000 words. Thanks, Anthony.
Let's go to our next slide. Okay, so not to sound redundant, I just wanted to drive the point home. You can see that SIN 334290 PACS includes physical access control systems that are 201 compliant, including items such as controlled access systems, biometrics, access point equipment, barriers and locking doors. These are just some of the items that can be found there. SIN 334290L which is the legacy SIN. Again, I'm just reiterating this so there's no confusion, offers similar products to that of the former. But the difference here is that these items are not FIPS compliant. SIN 541330 SEC includes security system integration, design, management, and lifecycle support. And again, here you will find vendors capable of the install portion. And these vendors are certified CSIP, meaning that they have passed the rigorous GSA approved training program. SIN 541330L offers those same services as the former, with the exception of the certification. So I just wanted to reiterate that so that there's no confusion between them all. Let's go over to our next slide, Lori. So GSA has a dedicated network of customer service directors who are highly trained and knowledgeable and could provide assistance with all of your acquisition needs. These individuals act as strategic partners by helping government organizations like yours obtain best value solutions. They are trained to assist you in each of the phases in your acquisition plan. You can think of them as your POC for any of your agency's acquisition needs. I do apologize for my raspiness. I'm, like many people in New York, are suffering from allergies this time of the year. I have included a link here that would allow you to find your CSD. It's important to note that these CSDs each handle certain agencies, making them more adept at understanding your department's specific needs. So that's also another benefit right there. Let's go on to the next slide, Lori. Our CSDs can help you take a closer look at the steps involved in the acquisition planning and explain what tools and best practices GSA has available to you. In fact, our CSDs can help you with requirements definition, market research and planning, solicitation development, selection award, contract administration, and lastly, contract closeout. GSA has taken all of the guesswork out of the procurement process by providing step-by-step guidance for each stage of the requirement. Let's go to the next slide, Lori. In addition to helping you with the entire acquisition plan, GSA also offers market research as a service, MRAS. This is a free service to help federal, state,
Wait a
and
minute,
local.
Anthony, I hate to interrupt you, but I heard a word that isn't normally synonymous with government. You said it's free?
Yes, Lori.
Everest,
It's
free market. What? Free?
So, yes. So, this is a free service to help federal, state, and local government agencies find information about GSA contract holders. It identifies suppliers and contracts that meet your needs. It can help you research and identify the capabilities of potential suppliers. And also provide you access to hundreds of existing market reports. It can help you create a market research plan that includes contract suggestions, socioeconomics, and other recommendations. It can provide feedback on agency requirements, industry trends, and best practices. And finally, it can help you with your agency RFI by providing industry partner information. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. So you can facilitate purchasing these products and services through various GSA supply programs. In addition to the multiple award schedule, the GSA offers agencies who do not have the contracting resources to the ability to purchase needed products or services through AAS. AAS, which stands for Assisted Acquisition Service, is a fee-based program that supports the full spectrum of the acquisition life cycle. AAS is a full spectrum, cradle to grave, custom acquisition, project, and financial management service provider. AAS works closely with agency program, financial, contracting, and legal counsel to ensure requirements are met. The other acquisition channel is the Special Order Program, SOP for short. SOP provides complete full service acquisition management support to acquire the products needed most by simplifying the entire acquisition process from proposal preparation through contract award. For more information on this or AAS, you can contact your CSD. Let's go over to the next slide. So some of you might be wondering, is my agency eligible to buy from GSA? The answer is all executive agencies, legislative or judicial branch and executive departments are. Additionally, all state, tribal, and local governments, some educational institutions, and other eligible non-government organizations are as well too. I have included a link for those who are unsure that will assist in determining if your agency or department is eligible. Let's go over to the next slide, Lori. In addition to the tools mentioned on the previous slides, I have provided some links that will further help you with your journey towards fulfilling your PACS needs. Again, I encourage you to explore each of them. Let's go over to our next slide, Lori. Our multiple award schedule contractors can provide the products and services needed to meet today's up-to-date standards. Through the GSA MAS security and protection category, your federal agency can save time and money with access to highly qualified product and service providers. Our products are fully FICAM compliant, and we offer a host of FIPS 201-3 and legacy PAC solutions, which can be tailored to meet your agency's unique requirements. We make ordering easy and efficient. GSA is basically taking out all of the guesswork from the procurement process by providing step-by-step guidance for each stage of the requirement. So from planning to closeout, GSA is here as your partner in support of your agency's PACS needs. So this concludes our presentation for today. But before we go on to Q&A, I just want to ask the audience for their support and participation in the survey that we're about to launch.
If I don't get a survey, folks, you don't get your CLP. Oops, I'm sorry, Anthony. You told me I can't say that. All right, I won't. I take that back. I take it back.
She takes it back.
Come on, team. It only will take, I promise you, less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. I've dropped the survey in the chat. You see the QR code on the screen. Please, ma'am, sir, I'm begging. Please take the survey. And yes, you will get your CLP even if you don't, but we need meaningful feedback so that this training can be improved and made better for you. All right, so pretty much that concludes our scripted portion of the training. And as Anthony promised, here's some point of contact information for Anthony and Ronald both. This will be in the slide deck. And now we're going to open up the floor so that if there are any questions or chats, Ronald, I'm tracking on a few messages, many of which you've already answered within the chat, but you have the co-host controls and you have the mic.
To install packs in the comments.
All right. For the questions I haven't provided responses for yet, I will provide responses to Lori, and she'll get those out to you guys. I need to do some research on those.
Okay, and you may feel free to open up your mic if there's something that you have addressed or need addressed that hasn't been addressed already with the contracting officer. Just pause for a few seconds. Okay. All righty. Well, folks, again, Anthony, outstanding job, sir. I'm going to clap. Yay!
Thank you, Lori. Thank you. And thank you all for attending today's session.
Yes, yes. We thank
And
so
putting up
many
with
of
my
you.
raspy voice. I also wanted to apologize for that, everyone.
Well, they could just tell you're a native New Yorker. That's all. Thank you so much. And please, ma'am, please, sir, consider taking our survey and we will yield back, which doesn't happen often, about 16 minutes of your government day. Take care now.
Thank you. Take care all.
Ronald, do you need me to capture any of the chat messaging to ensure that we didn't miss anyone?
I am doing a little screenshot of all the messages right now and saving them.
Outstanding. I love
So
it when a plan comes together. We got to get back
so I could
to our
yeah.
our attendees. Exactly.
Okay. All right.
It's
Sounds good, Lori.
customer service at its finest.
All right. I will get these to you by tomorrow, let's say by 10 a.m.
Out. Foxtrot. Standing.
All right. All right, Lori. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to check off for the day and go catch my appointments.
Thanks, Ronald. Bye-bye.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, Anthony, I'm going through all of the chat messaging just to make sure we didn't miss anyone.
Fantastic.
A lot of thank yous, a lot of good jobs. Way to go, buddy.
Great. Beautiful.
Let's set up a time in the near future and we'll do a back brief with the boss. I'm going to sign off for now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much,
Alrighty.
Lori.
Bye-bye.
Bye.